TK, welcome to the show. It's Sunday morning, and you and I are here, and we don't know why. We keep doing this, but we're here.
What was in the water last week?
What were you drinking? What were you forcing?
What's going on?
Well, it's funny because the week before, people were saying, man, that was like the most negative, bearish show you guys have ever done. And no, I don't know why. Like, why did we do that? T?
It was just like a social experiment. We just wanted to see, you know what I mean? Like, could Darryl and TK control the market and pump it? Just as everybody says, they said we're pumping the market,
Right.
you know?
We
And
have
so,
the
like, are
power.
we feeding into the market by, having all of our bearish dialogues, or are we, able to contribute to the market's growth by, having these bullish? And we realize that we are 100% insignificant in the real estate market's activity. And we just wanted to prove that. So there you go. Last week, we proved that. Nothing changed because we started talking about a bull market coming back.
Well, I think it's funny though, because honest to God, like we didn't talk about anything that wasn't actually happening, right? I don't even think we framed any of that in any particular light. Not
I might have a
reframed
little
it.
bit. I might have a little
Did
bit
you
just to
reframe things?
just to test things out, just a
Well,
perspective to give
it,
people like a little bit of zing.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'm double subscribed. Do it yourself. Didn't get to fix the show, though. Didn't get to fix the show.
Darryl, don't forget. You got to like, comment, and subscribe.
oh man, something else I got to remember. Maybe I should just do it now.
I would do it now.
Now's a good time to do it. There's no better time to do things than now. Hit that button now.
Don't procrastinate.
Don't hesitate.
Capitulate.
Oh, all right. There we go. Substack, Frankfort Report. Check it out. Substack, Frankfort Report. Check it out. Instead of calling you a horrible liberal, you want them calling you a moron. Was that the point?
Yeah, it's okay. It's all
Well,
good.
we got plenty of that. So thank you, everybody. I'll tell you, TK, I can't tell who the hell watches this show. I meet people that watch the show, and it blows my mind uh, who actually watches this show. But when you think of it on a broad scale, I don't have like if you just look at
Unless
the
you
comments,
comment,
well, the
unless you comment, we
commenters,
don't know you're watching.
but I still can't get a read on even the commenters. Like we've got a wide range of interesting people, I think, that watches. So we try and appeal to the audience, but I don't know if that's actually possible, TK.
We're thinking about starting our own town in Northern Ontario,
Right.
and that we'll invite all you guys to come and live there, and we can
TK
start like a
Town.
little community. No, it would be called something like more, realistic, like the Canadian Real Estate Show Town.
Ah, okay.
You
It
know,
sounds like a
but
place lots of people would want to live.
we're gonna have a new economy. And we'll even get our
We're gonna
own
need one.
currency. That's it.
We're gonna need one because it
Yeah.
seems like the rest of the way things
Globe.
work, the rest of the globe, the
Yep.
rest of the systems are not quite optimal anymore.
Yep.
TK, there's a lot of people that are, waking up in the morning going, I don't get it. This doesn't make any goddamn sense to
Doesn't
me.
feel like it did before. I don't
Why?
know.
No, but seriously,
A lot
like
less money in my bank account.
why the fuck would people get up to go to a place at 9, to leave at 5, and to really just fuck around all day as much as they can, right? Until that second Friday comes around and they get to put just enough money in the bank to barely pay for the shit that they need, let alone the stuff that they want. But thank God there's credit cards, TK, and thank God for HELOCs, right?
For the equity in your home.
Right. If you're
Yeah.
lucky enough to even have a home with any equity in it, like,
Yeah.
more than 5%. The
Yeah.
whole world is upside down and we definitely need a change. But you know what is not going to make that change, TK? Watching the show.
Moving all the automotive manufacturing to the US.
Oh God. There. Okay. Let's just
Yeah, I don't think that'll make things any better.
well, I mean, I definitely how many people are we talking about here that are really
Well,
affected?
first of
Because
all,
I
in
think
the
it's not
actual
good.
automotive industry, you got
Yeah.
125,000 people. Okay? And then when you look at all the related trades, it's 500,000 people in
Half a
Canada
million people is the
working
Canadian
just
auto
in the
sector,
automotive sector.
like
Okay?
parts and shipping and
All the
all that
stuff that's
shit.
connected. The particular Brampton plant's got like 3,000 plus employees, but it's like 5,000 or something.
How can you take a
No,
grant?
12,000 in total people who are going to be all connected to this.
But how do you take a grant from the government or a loan or I don't know? It seems like it was free money given to them, and then they're just like,
Sure.
"Okay, thank you, check
Yeah.
cashed, we're
These
gone."
guys, these guys sit around a boardroom all the time. It's like the pharmaceutical companies. They looked at it and they said, "Well, you know what? If we get sued, why don't we just put aside of the profits and put them over here, and that way we
Yeah,
can pay people out after we make three times that, you
that's
know?"
right.
And that's what the automotive companies obviously would have done is they would have looked at all their options, and if there is a legal recourse and they got to pay it back, they thought well and hard about it. And what is the government going to do? Charge them interest? Like, they'll probably end up giving back half of it and say, "Hey, we tried, and here's a consolation prize."
Well, it's just ridiculous that they
Yeah,
can take the money and run, and then now look what happens to us, right? Like, I don't know how many people get affected by that one move in particular, but it
a
seems to
ton
me,
of people. There's
yeah,
there's
that
there's clients that we have who are waiting for the Brampton plant to be retooled. Like they've been off work saying, "Hey, the Brampton plant's getting retooled any
oh
day now.
yeah,
We're going to be back to work." And now they're getting these automated messages saying, "Hi, Darryl Frankfort.
yeah,
This
you
is
are fired.
Unicore Union Representative John.
Yeah,
I am here to
because
tell you you do not have a job anymore. Please go to your nearest unemployment office."
please refer to your employment contract for terms and conditions of us screwing you as much as we legally possibly can.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
And so
Right.
them
And then the
taking
guy
six.
goes, "What contract? I never signed a contract." Bang. Exactly. Now you're
Yeah.
fucked. So many guys are fucked. This is
So
going to
you look
be,
at so you look at okay, so 600 billion million dollars. I mean, it's a billion like it's nothing now. 600 million dollars to open up the Belvedere assembly plant, reopen it in Illinois, right? For a Jeep Compass. Who drives a Jeep Compass,
what the
Daryl?
hell's a Jeep
Who
Compass?
wants to drive a Jeep Compass? You
So
know what I
maybe
mean?
this
Like
is a
that many
blessing in
people are
disguise.
buying Jeep Compasses
Are they?
for them to get rid of our factory and throw $600 million down south. That is appalling on its own,
I can't
you
even
know?
believe how expensive Jeeps are. Like we went to go look at a Jeep Wrangler when my daughter wanted a like her car, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit, this
You
thing's
thought it was
more
just like
than
a yeah,
my car. What the
yeah,
hell are they doing over here at Jeep? This is crazy."
yeah. So they
Well,
report a $2.7 billion loss in the first 6 months of this year, right? And obviously it has to do with tariffs. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what everything is being boiled down to is
tariffs.
what makes sense for the company. And so now when you have a company like Stellantis saying, "Hey, we're going to move our operations, screw the government, we don't care. This is what's best for us."
Yeah.
What do you think the other automotive companies do?
Well, they have no choice. They got to follow
Right?
them for the business, I would imagine, right?
it's just it's
If it
just
makes
part it's
sense
just
for
part of
them,
part of the like negotiations. There's
or they
a
disappear.
public relations type of issue here. And so if one company gets away with it, they're slapping the government in the face by saying, "Hey, I don't care about our agreement. I'm going wherever's best for my company." Others are going to
But
follow. They're
we
going to say, "Well,
talked about this. We
Canadian
talked
government
about
can't do
this.
this." Yeah,
when
with
when the tariffs
Crown
first
Royal.
came out. No, even before when they first
Yeah,
came out, we talked about it. I told you about all my friends that own businesses that ship back and forth. They're all talking about opening up operations on the other side of the border. Fuck it, right?
yeah,
Because listen, who the hell's in business to make less money just because they're here, right?
yeah,
It just there's a point where it just doesn't make any fucking sense to stay here anymore, especially if for a business. Forget about a person, right? I
yeah.
mean, how many people do you talk to that part of the conversation at dinner isn't like, would you consider moving?
Honestly, I talk to a lot of people right now, okay, and
Every
most of the
conversation.
people that I'm talking to, okay, are very unrealistic. I have to say no to a lot of business. I'm not saying no to a lot of business. I'm just telling them I'm not your guy to go on that journey because every seller wants more money for their house right now. This week, one guy he wanted 4 million, it should be three. Another guy wanted 3.4, it's under three. Another guy wants 1 million to 1.2 for lots in like an estate type of situation, and that's like his like break even, and it's probably like 800, you know what I mean, to get it
Mhm.
moved. Right? So everybody's just sort of like a few ticks above what true market value is
So,
in
but
order.
you say that you won't take that business, right? And like I watched a video
There
yesterday, I
is
think
no
it was.
business though. That's the thing. It's not just not taking it or not. There is no sale that these people aren't going to sell.
No, but this one lady was saying,
Yeah.
okay, they want to put it up for this price. Fine, no problem. We'll put it up for that price. And when reality sets in and there's no showings and there's no offers and they lower the price, then like we'll get the house moved. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's the opposite approach to what you're taking. You're saying, like, I'm turning down business because they don't want to be realistic. And there's other people out there going, like, I don't give a shit if they're realistic. I'll just take the listing. Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
eventually, if they need to sell, they're going to have to get realistic. And I'm going to be there, with maybe 5 grand less on my commission, but a paycheck. And you're sitting there going, nah, I'm not even going to waste my time on that. Maybe your approach isn't the smartest way of doing it from a business standpoint, TK.
Yeah, I agree. There's probably people that you can go on, and I go on those journeys with some people because obviously that's, part of the job. But, some people like you can just tell that they're not realistic and that they don't really have a lot of motivation. And so
Right.
when you have no motivation, you won't do what's necessary to sell in this market. Like, let's just be frank.
So,
There
but
is no satisfaction in a seller right now putting their house on the market and them getting a price that they're hoping for. That's just not going to happen.
So, but where do you draw the line? What makes your decision versus, like where you will take the listing and they're unrealistic and you'll see what happens in the future versus like, I'm not wasting my time on this one. They're unrealistic and we're going to have to reduce the price in the future.
If any agent had that down pat, they could write a book about it and make a lot of money
Hmm.
because you never really know. Some people will tell you they're not motivated, they're not telling you the truth. Later on, you find out they're extremely motivated to get it sold. Other people tell you they have the worst situation in the world. You find out later on they actually don't care and they're about to, just light the torch to their whole entire life and not worry about what the house prices are. So, anyways, it's hard to tell. You got experience, your gut feeling. You're trying to help people. You try to find solutions. What
No,
makes
but what are
sense.
you looking for? Like, what is your determining factor if you take it or don't take it? Right? Because you're saying like sometimes you would take that and go down that path with
There's so
them.
there's so many things. There's so many reasons. It could be somebody who's just willing to work with you, somebody who's showing, that they're serious about selling, somebody who's you know, got some, real motivation, pushing up against them. It could be somebody who's just really nice and you want to do everything you can to help them, even though you might feel in the back of your head like, I really can't help this person, but I'll do everything I can to try to make it work. There's a lot of factors.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot
Seems
of
like,
factors.
hmm. Seems like yeah, I guess it's tough. But I mean, I guess it's more of a business model decision than anything, right? Because you end up, I guess, wasting more time with unrealistic people than you do with realistic people. I guess that just makes
I've
sense.
been doing buyer deals lately, and
Buyer
buyers are
deals?
buyers are
What?
amazing. Buyers are amazing. So you
Who's
can get
buying?
yourself some buyers. Well, hopefully it's people who are going to
How?
be working at that battery plant in Windsor because that's still going ahead. So I think some of the automotive companies they're still pretty hot on the fact that we're getting a big automotive plant in Windsor, and
For EVs? For
That is
EV?
Stellantis. That's the same company.
Oh, so they
So
won't move that later because
well,
they
they
just
haven't said
built
anything
it.
about that. I mean, that would be pretty crazy for them to do that, considering how much money they've already put in there. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. They're announcing $13 billion in the U.S. that they're going to spend more. They're not mentioning anything about the battery plant changing in Windsor, but I guess anybody could guess what could happen at this point in time.
So,
But for
so
us, that is going to be a pretty massive, expansion. And I think that's what Canada has to do is they have to start looking at more innovative solutions. Like you need to make it so that it's cheaper to do stuff in Canada than it is anywhere else, no matter what the tariffs are. You know what I mean? Like find some amazing tax breaks for these businesses to be operating here. Like why the government doesn't understand that and why they're not willing to do it is beyond me
this
because
is
we're
a
obviously
great
getting killed,
right.
right?
This is so great because it's like I keep saying, what if they really did want to turn around the economy or they really did want to make a push on whatever, it seems like they could, right? Because um they don't seem to be doing things that push the economy or society or business or money in the direction that's necessary. So, for example, what 100% tariffs on Chinese cars. Hello, like we know that there's a demand here for those cars, right? We know people want cheap cars here. That's not a secret. There seems to be some capacity to make the things here. So, like, maybe swap, maybe we'll take off the tariffs, but you have to build the cars here or something, or put them together here, or open a fucking plant here. God damn it.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe this
like
is all intentional, Darryl. Maybe this is all part of the big plan
you
to make
will own
Canada
nothing and be happy, TK. It's the
the
reset.
51st state, or
51st state, great
uh
reset,
like
one
sell our
world government,
resources to, whoever. Like, I mean, who knows? Who knows? If there's a lot of
or
great theories out there, but I'm telling you right now, that's the trajectory Canadians are on, unfortunately. This is it. And international presence. Listen, I'm talking to a lot of people from other countries, mainly India and
buying
China. And the perception that people have of Canada right now is not good. It is getting worse.
the ones that
And
live
that
here, the ones that live abroad thinking about moving.
both, both,
Both? I
both.
just saw articles last week that said Canada's like the top country again, or like
That
top 10 or
for
top
Listen, Canadians
whatever.
write those stupid articles. We've been
Mhm.
writing them for years to make ourselves feel better. Okay. And
Yeah.
that, it's like, who are they polling? It's just like, well, there was a guy who had about a bomb that was about to be dropped on his house. And we told him that Canada has no bombs. And he says, yeah, I want to move there. And all of a sudden we were able to, get our name ranked higher on the list.
Mm.
Like, when you actually look at qualified people with jobs, you actually look at people who are going to be looking to, build a family, who could go anywhere, who could go to like Australia, who could go to England, who could go to the US, who could go to Canada, who could go to other parts of the world, New Zealand, whatever. They're actually their least favorite place to go right now is Canada. It's just Canada is the easiest place to go, and so that's why some of them choose, because who are we getting? We're getting the ones that the rest of the countries rejected.
Is that a fact?
Absolutely. Like that's exactly what happens when people leave
Where
their
are they
country,
trying to
is they
go?
look at where their best job is going to be for themselves. Currency is a big deal, right? So I mean, US,
So
yeah,
how much are they
English.
paying to go to a good country if they're paying this kind of money to come to this shithole?
What do you mean paying? They're looking at their
What do
jobs.
you
They're
mean?
applying
They're
for
all paying
jobs.
like brokers to get them here and to find them jobs,
That's
right?
not necessarily true.
That's not necessarily true.
No, that might be true for some people, but other people, they've got,
That would make it
skills.
true.
They got skills,
Yeah.
and they can go and apply for companies,
Yeah.
and then they
Some
can
people.
apply for visas under that. So these are highly skilled people, people who we want, you know,
Yeah.
people who we want. And unfortunately, they're not choosing Canada anymore. And these type of things, like these are big announcements that go global. Wow, Canadian economy is changing. Wow, Canadian automakers are going down to the States. Canada losing the trade war. All these type of storylines are contributing to less qualified people. So immigration rates, I think we'll never have an issue turning the taps on and bringing people here, but it's just like what type of people, and that shows in the per capita GDP numbers. I mean, we're getting a less and less skilled workforce here, unfortunately.
No
You know?
kidding. You should
Yeah.
see. I tried to get some work done around here again, and the guys that you meet, it's unbelievable. Do you remember how I would say for years already that like you end up with these new boom of general contractors, like all these guys from the bigger job sites, they all,
The union guys, yeah.
yeah, well, no, union, not union, it doesn't matter. But yeah, most of them are union. And what's actually funny is like a lot of these guys come into quote now will say, like, when do you need it done? Um, because I'm waiting on a call from the union. And if I get a call from the union, then I can't do this job. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you guys serious? How long have you been waiting for the union to call? Right? It's like weeks and months, right? But they're
Yeah.
gonna call. I spoke to them yesterday,
Yeah.
but it's crazy. They're out. Like, can you imagine going out there, taking your time, quoting a
Yeah.
job, and saying like, I might not be able to
I
do
may
this
not be in
job.
real estate next month when you're looking to sell, and I might be going back to my job,
Can I have a listing?
in the restaurant business. But, when are you thinking about selling? You think you
Yeah,
can sell within the next month? Because, I probably won't renew my license, and I don't have that much time left.
that's right. No, but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so this is not clearly not your main gig, right? You're like
Yeah.
doing this part time.
Yeah.
It, it,
And you
there
wonder why you have issues with contractors.
so many though,
Who
but
are you getting to quote? Like, this is,
I have so many quotes. The prices are all over the map. The
yeah.
guys, like half of them don't know what they're doing. You
Yeah.
end up with a guy who like is a young guy, owns like some new franchise of a painting company or something, you know? It's crazy. Look, I don't like to use the guys that I use in business in my house. Okay. So I'm always looking for referrals from people. I check online or a
Yeah.
lawn sign because I don't want those guys in my house. It's not
Yeah.
good. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
I'll
Right.
give you my guy. I'll give you my guy. He's painting at my house right now. He just did the condo.
Well, no, I
He
got a
did
guy
all my
coming
stuff
on Monday.
upstairs. He does clients for me. Like I never have any issues with him.
I had
Prices
a
are
guy.
good.
I
Everything's
had a
good.
good carpenter. He was here. Well, he was an okay carpenter. He had to redo a few things a few times. It's funny
Sure.
what people
My guy never had
consider
to redo anything.
acceptable.
Everything
Yeah.
was good. Yeah, everything was good.
Well, you're not as
Anyways,
picky as me.
maybe. So
But
let's what about those Downsview Park homes? Should we just go into prefabbed homes now in order for you to be able to solve the housing crisis? Daryl, 540 homes building on Downsview Park.
well, that's
That's a big
significant
announcement.
enough to discuss.
Yeah.
Certainly, 540 homes. That makes a
Yeah.
giant dent
They're
in
gonna have
things.
4,000
Wow.
total,
Look at
13
them
billion, 3.2
modular.
million a house.
Whoa, look how productive and efficient we can be using modular. We can pump out 540 homes. Hello, we do that normally, the old-fashioned way pretty easily if people are buying shit,
Yeah.
right? Building 540 homes is not helpful on any level at all, other than, a bunch of morons going, oh, look, Carney's the best. You see, he made a promise. He's keeping it. Carney's our man. This is why I voted for Carney. See, 540 homes in Willowdale or wherever the fuck.
Well,
Downsview Park.
okay. Well, I
Well
appreciate
done, everyone.
the candor that you have.
Well
But
done, everyone.
what I'm trying to get at is maybe this is now going to be something that's going to be able to create infrastructure for us to be able to build homes faster, right? I mean, you're looking at this, they're talking about 15 planned neighborhoods, 115,000 residents, 52,000 jobs, and
Oh,
this is the first phase of the 1,700 planned for
how
that
many
for that
jobs
site.
for 540 houses? What? Tell me.
They said 52,000 jobs, accommodate residents.
52,000 jobs because we're going
Yeah.
to build 500
115,000 residents. That's
for
only like
540 houses. How are they going to fit in there, TK? Is this phase one? 540 houses is phase one.
overall
Let's do
project
some
includes
math.
15 planned neighborhoods. So that would
15
be
planned
all of the
neighborhoods.
neighborhoods. That would be all the
Ah.
neighborhoods, not just the Arbonne neighborhood.
Oh, wow. Well, you know
Yeah.
what, TK? You know what I plan to build in the next decade? TK, I'll tell you about 1 billion units
Yeah.
is what I have in store for everybody. I'm going
Yeah.
to build these across not only North America, TK. I'm planning on going into Chile pretty hard.
Okay.
And I was thinking about just taking over Afghanistan because that market's going to boom and I'm going to be ready for it. And that's what I have planned, TK. Do you think there's a
Well, great.
difference between the statements here? Do you
Well,
think?
yeah, they actually have land to build on and you don't. That would be the
No,
biggest difference.
no.
And they have a blank check from the government to be able to write $13 billion checks and you don't. I mean, so
I think
look,
mine's more
I know
realistic.
I know you're negative about it, but to me, it's like I'm
That's
actually a
great.
little bit optimistic because I think that all the changes that we got in planning, you and I would have said 5 years ago, oh, you're going to 7 years until you get an approval. How fast did you get your zoning on your site?
That's because of me,
No,
TK.
how fast did you get your zoning?
That's because of me,
How
TK.
fast did you get your zoning?
Well, from when I put in the application, but
Okay.
you can't
Okay.
discount all the
How
work I did before that.
how long did that take?
6 months, TK.
6 months. Okay.
Six
So
months.
obviously there's been changes going on that they
Clearly.
are trying to fast track. And when the economy changes and that the new housing numbers come in so low, that there's going to be some sort of government support. I'm not saying it's efficient. I don't think
An
it's like the
anomaly.
only solution, but I
I'm an
think that
anomaly.
we're gonna build a ton of homes in these type of situations that is going to be good for their election, for their politics and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's going to be adding to Canadians' housing growth. Now,
It's a
why
fairy
is this
tale.
important? Why is this
Why?
important? Because
Why?
we're talking about housing affordability.
Oh, right. The affordable part of the whole thing. Right.
I'm not
Because
talking
they're
about
going
that
to,
part. I'm
oh,
talking about housing affordability on its own, which is a balance of supply and demand,
ooh,
and that more supply is going to come onto the market.
okay.
And as more supply comes onto the market, and the demand doesn't grow because we've
Yeah.
got a lot of issues with demand right now because we've got economic issues and people can't afford houses, and that people now, because of the 2022 market and before, are going to be really scared to invest. Demand growth is going to be very, very, very difficult over the next, decade. Where do prices go?
You're hold on a sec. You're saying that demand will not be there?
Demand like we had before. When
Oh,
we had
demand
all
like we
those
had before.
that
Okay.
all that investor speculation garbage. Like
Yeah.
when we're doing multiple offers, we got 30 offers. Half of those people are buying a second home or something like that. All that's over, especially
Because
with the
of the
landlord tenant
OSFI thing?
board. No, landlord tenant board issues, access to capital, and then overall just like, oh, the market can go down. There's a lot of people who got burned. So a
Sure.
lot of people will now think twice about buying real estate over the next decade. The people who got burned in the 90s, that's how they felt. That's why houses were so cheap, is because they all just came out of the 90s going, what do you mean I'm going to go and buy a bunch of rental properties that have a bunch of problems with tenants, and my house price might go down, and I'm not going to make any money. Real estate wasn't a good game. It was only the later years that people started getting in. And so this is going to create more houses. I think it's going to lead towards affordability in Canada coming up, going up. Unaffordability going down, affordability going up.
Because you think that these homes will get built.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And what makes you think that, TK?
Because they're already starting, and that there's going to be more infrastructure put in. Like, I mean, they're investing $283 million into the sewer system in the Black Creek area. That serves right now 350,000, but it's allowing for 60,000 more homes to be put on that network. That infrastructure will get put in because of these government projects, and then developers, which when services become available, all of a sudden doors open to build in certain areas. Are you a real estate agent and you're looking to make a change anywhere in Ontario? Guess what? We're hiring. Franklin Associates, #1 team in the GTA for all Remax teams, #1 team for all teams from all companies for number of units sold throughout Toronto. So if you're looking to make a change, best decision I ever made was to join Franklin Associates. Go to jointeamleo.com and we can set up a call.
Yeah, but the economy has to be, blowing in the right direction. It,
I'm not saying that the demand will be there. What I'm saying is that the houses will get built and that the price of those houses will be more affordable,
so
right?
so the government is going to build houses at extraordinary losses in order to just get the housing out, is what you're saying? They're going to figure out a way to build these things with extraordinary losses of taxpayer dollars just in order to pump out a bunch of shitty garbage houses that people don't even want to live in?
Except for that last sentence, yes. Because people
Really?
will want to live in them because they're homes and people do need a home. Because I don't
That's
know if
true.
you've been
People will
outside in
live in
winter,
some
but
fucking
it is pretty
crazy.
cold in Canada. So people do like to have homes here,
They
right?
do like to have homes here, although
Yeah.
some of them seem to not want to have a home. They're fairly content living on a sofa on the sidewalk, which is looks difficult, TK. It looks like
Well,
there's
let's
an easier way.
well
Like
let's
maybe walking until you find somewhere warm. Is that possible? Could you walk until you got to somewhere warm? I mean, I'm pretty sure, where was I? Was I in Detroit? Like you could swim across and be in like the States, right? You could swim across from Windsor, be in Detroit.
yeah.
Maybe got to avoid some helicopter sniper rifle fire. But if you make it, you're in the States and then you just keep walking until it's warmer. Why would you camp out here? Is this what we're talking about? Well, that's kind of the affordable housing solution that we've come up with over the last few years. The camping thing. How come there's no more tent cities anymore, TK?
That's a
Where'd the
good
tent
question, actually.
cities
We haven't
go?
at least been talking about it, but I'm sure there's tents
Are they
somewhere.
still there? They're just like part of the backdrop now. They're normal.
Somebody's living in a tent somewhere, but they're living under the radar. I don't know.
But there isn't the full blown cities in the park still, or I don't know. I haven't gone
I
downtown
haven't seen
forever. I'm
them. I haven't
afraid.
seen them. Yeah,
I'm
I haven't seen
afraid.
them.
If I go downtown, it's like Yorkville, underground parking, and like maybe I'll walk outside a little bit if I
Yeah.
have to. But that's the downtown experience now. It's scary down there, no?
So we've got mortgage delinquency rates coming up.
Perfect segue from what I just said. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that then.
That's okay. Don't worry. We all
Well, I
like your
mean,
stories. Don't worry.
I don't know
Um,
if there was a story there.
we like all of your, comments on what you see on your
Just
daily
get me
basis and,
back on track here.
wherever
Hey, I
else
was
you
at
went.
Yorkdale. Speaking of
So
which, are we
point
supposed
two
to be in a
three,
recession, TK?
0.23 is the delinquency rate right now.
0.23. Is that
Point two
significant?
three Q2 2025. And so it's up from 0.14 in Q4 2022. All right. Now, that's the rate. That's a percentage of
It's not a
mortgages that are
conversation when
delinquent.
we don't finish half of the conversation.
Okay.
Like if we just skip over everything I said and then start a new topic,
No, I think
then
that
it becomes like
the people are
I'm
homeless.
yeah,
Yorkdale's still busy. You're wondering why the economy's not
and
doing
then
so good,
mortgage
but people have
arrears.
so money. Well,
Okay.
Yorkdale people have money because they need to buy clothes, and some people still have a lot of money.
Anyways, so yeah,
So the
mortgage
mortgage
arrears
delinquency rate.
0.23%,
Okay, hot topic right now.
growing.
Do you
Yeah,
have any power of sale stories?
I see a power sale around the corner for me that just doesn't seem to sell, which is kind of
There's
weird.
one around the corner from you
Yeah,
right
like
now
this
for sale.
weird, like
Sketchy.
dilapidated, sketchy. It's like, how did that thing become a power of sale? It's like, how did this happen?
I,
But
I
it
I was
doesn't
at a
sell
house.
even.
We got a call from a guy. He's like, I need to sell. The bank's about to take the house. And then I showed up, and then like it was like this like grown in like beautiful house in Ajax, but it was just like full of trees and bushes. Like you couldn't see the house anymore. Like it looked like someone hadn't been there for a while. And he didn't answer the door. And we called, and he never got back to us. So I don't even know. But I was
That's a
there. I
power
was
of
ready.
sale.
If you're listening to this, I was there to help you that day. And unfortunately, you didn't answer any of the calls, texts, or emails afterwards. So I hope you figured out your situation, and the bank is not going to take your home.
So, but are the
Um,
power of sales selling for that much less than market?
I'm having a hard time selling the power sale that I got on the market right now because it's a real dump, and that the bank was owed so much money on it. Some of the other ones that I'm seeing are very similar. It's just like the lenders, mostly the private lenders, B lenders, credit unions, things like that. They're like not able, or they're not willing to sell for the price that the market is willing to bear, because a lot of people, the appraisals came in so high
Yeah,
when they refinance, and their
yeah.
second mortgages, there's a whole big story behind it. And honestly, they just over leverage these properties, and so they're just trying to find a way to be able to make it work. Second lenders, we had one recently where the second mortgage or took a lot less money. He just cut his losses, because if he was going to take over the property, he'd have to start making the payments on the first. He'd then have to sell the property. We had already got a great offer. We'd already showed that the market was where it was, and that for them to take it over, it would have been a nightmare, because they could lose that little bit of money left that was still going to be paid to them. So in the end, they decided to take their loss and move on. I told you about Arbro. We were dealing with them, Arbro. Remember the company that was buying like percentage equity in your home? They would lend you part of the down payment and they would own. Well, in one of the deals that we were working on that was like about to go power sale, Arbro actually, I believe, I don't know, I've seen the final answer there. They actually stepped in and just like took over the property and said, no problem, we'll figure this out from here. So Arbro, that model, doesn't seem like that's gonna be around forever. If their new model is now, we have to buy the houses because there's only so much money to go around, right?
So, but are people buying the power sales for below market? Like, are they affecting the market in areas? Are
No, they
like,
sell
are,
they
are
sell for
they?
what they should sell for. They sell for based on the condition in the market, and they sell for the right price.
I do they have second mortgages, all of them, or did they have like
Not
stupid
all of them.
firsts, most of them?
It could be there's every answer to that question
I
that
just
exists. Could be there.
it again, like I've bitched about this for years, but like how many times, especially in those crazy years, you're waiting on the appraisal and it's like magically the asking or the purchase price, or
Yeah.
like a little more or just a tiny
Market
less.
value. Someone was willing to pay it.
Right? It's like, oh my God, that's crazy. It
Yeah.
came in exactly at what we paid for it. This is unbelievable. Well, and then how many times have you had to ask the appraiser to just, can you double check that for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But nowadays, it's like, can you even question the guy? Can you
Yeah.
question the appraiser? You can't even talk to the guy. They won't even
You
talk to
better
you.
not. I just I
No,
just I just got a text on my phone. It's an anecdotal story.
it's an
So
appraiser.
No, it's a property that I have for sale that's a multi-tenanted property, and one of the tenants there
Power of sale? Is it
who's
a
got
power of
kids.
sale?
No, it's not power sale, but they've
Totally
got
off
kids.
topic.
They've got kids, and they are definitely like not in good living conditions. And she just said that one of the, I guess maybe showings or somebody called Children's Aid on her. And now she's like, I don't want showings in my unit anymore. And like that was like a real call that should have happened. Like in this particular case, like this was like a really slummy place. Like I was like, oh my God, this is like, how could people live in this environment? How could kids live in this environment? Yeah. So,
Whoa,
anyways,
hold
that's the
on a
text I just
second.
got live on the show.
Hold on. So they just said to you that
No more
somebody,
showings. No
no
more.
more sure.
Nobody's coming in my apartment anymore.
Hold on.
That's
So
it.
this is a tenant,
This is a tenant. Yeah.
who is living in a slum. So your client is a slumlord,
She
right?
actually called him a slumlord in this text.
But I mean, that's your client, right? Your
Yeah.
client, and
I,
does
I
your
don't think he's a
client
slumlord. I think
know it
he's somebody who just doesn't want to like invest money in his
in
property.
his property, right? Okay, so
Slumlord.
not a slumlord. Okay, got
Yeah,
it. Okay, so
yeah,
this landlord, this
yeah.
ruler of the house, okay, who has no interest in anything
I'm not a
clearly but
slumlord, I
money.
swear. I just don't want to actually fix the property. All
Right.
right.
The holes don't count until they're at least 3 feet in
Those
diameter.
those raccoons were there when I bought the place. All
That's
right.
right.
They're tenants.
I got a lineup of people who want to live
Yeah.
there. So, but what's wrong with this tenant that they live there is the real question. Is
Honestly,
there
I don't even
really
want to say it on our show. It's just
ah
that, personal, and it's
layers?
like let's just say
There's layers.
justice is probably being served here.
Oh
So
no.
delinquency rates in mortgages
Oh
back in the
no.
90s, what do you think it was? So right now it's zero point 0.2, bottomed out in 2022 at 0.14. So it's gone up this huge amount that everyone's like, ooh, 0.23. Aye. What do you think they were in the 90s? Peak of the
Um
like downturn.
point
Good guess. Three times that.
what is three times that? 1.3?
0.65. All right.
0.65?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're nowhere near that yet.
Nowhere near a fraction of a percent.
We're nowhere near the rate of delinquencies from the 90s.
So what does that mean? That's not good. That doesn't sound good. Everybody's comparing this to the 90s. Everybody's saying that we got a long road ahead. We're just going to keep grinding along, prices
My
going lower. Although people are calling for a crash again.
my
Uh,
my suspicions is the worst is yet to come.
the worst is yet to come. You see,
Yeah.
when you look at it on a graph, TK, and you compare it to the past, it does look like we should be coming out of it sooner than later. And like, okay, fine. So the worst is still to come. How much worse is still to come? Like, do we think it's going to be uh, a couple percent every year for another 5 years? Do we think it's going to be like, another 2 years and we're going to lose 5% a year? Are we even going to lose 5% over the next 5 years? What the hell's going on here,
We
TK? You
can't
seem to have
we
all the answers.
we just I don't have all the answers, but we can't recover until the problem is over. It's like you have an
But the
infection, you know what I
problem,
mean? So it's like I'm trying to get better because I got, um I don't know, a lung infection, right? And so like
syphilis,
I can't breathe, I can't breathe
right?
properly, right?
Yeah,
And so now I'm trying to like breathe better, but I haven't actually got rid of the infection. Once the infection clears,
right.
because of my antibiotics, then my breathing will get better and better and better. Infection's gone, breathing's better, better, better,
Yeah.
better. Okay, I'm breathing again. Let's start, running and doing all those things
No,
again.
you're like one of those guys at the hospital that has to go out for a cigarette when he's there for like lung cancer.
Yeah. Well, that's, potentially the issue is the smoking, and that until the smoking
Right.
stops, you're probably not going to get your cancer, in remission. But that being said, we
Yeah.
still have a infection, and the infection is we have people who can't afford the houses that they live in.
They could never is the
They can't, but
problem. It's
right
not
now, the
now.
payments that they're making are like weighing down on them. They're renting out rooms, they're doing Airbnb, they're
Yeah.
trying to, get other jobs, they're using credit. And so like as long as that exists, when you got a bunch of people who aren't able to live in their homes anymore, more and more inventory will continue to hit the market, and that until all that is cleared out. So all the bad debt's cleared out, everyone's got like their ducks in a row. They can afford the house. They like, what a novel thing. Just be able to afford the house that you live in, the current house, not buy a new house, just the one that you live in right now. Once everyone
Yeah,
can
but it's
afford the
not
house that they can live
enough.
in, then the recovery can start. And we still have got, Aussie said it was a third of mortgages, but I read an article that said about 51% of mortgages will be renewed between now and 2017. But it doesn't matter. There's a
I
whole
don't
heck
think.
of a lot of people who haven't even started to feel the unaffordability part yet because they're paying 2% interest.
Well, but how many of those mortgages are renewing right around where they were already at because they got it at a certain point in time or they had a certain length of mortgage, right? Like there's a lot of people that had 3.5, 4.25% mortgages, weren't there? Or did everybody have 2% and under?
It's the people who are renewing now are at the end of their typical 5-year term. And the typical 5-year term started from 2025, 2020, and at the 2027 into
Right. A
2022.
lot
And
of them
during
are
that
fucked.
period, the interest rates are 2%.
Yeah. So a lot of people are paying
So a
double.
lot of people will be paying more. There's
So
already a
how
bunch of
many of
people
those
paying more.
people then, were paying like four something, three something percent, dropped it down to 1, 2% for 5 years and are now back at the level that they were paying before?
But it's, the issue is they refinance because they look at that opportunity and they say,
Mm.
"Oh, wow,
Time to
2%.
buy the
Now's a good
Lambo.
time to be able to do that renovation that I
Right.
wanted." And to be able
Right.
to, they used the HELOC, they refinanced, and they thought they were
Yeah,
geniuses.
I'm pushing the value of my home up. I'm gonna do the kitchen. I'm gonna spend 100 grand on the kitchen. It's gonna make the
Yeah,
house $250,000 more valuable. Right.
yeah.
I'm actually making money on this deal, TK.
I had a guy get a $2 million mortgage in
That's how people
2021.
think, though. This is how people thought. They
Yeah,
literally thought like this, right?
yeah,
Like, and they'll take that 50 grand extra out of the house later in a permanent mortgage after they, refi their HELOC, right?
yeah.
They'll get it appraised because now they did the kitchen and the floors and the bathroom or whatever.
Yep.
And they'll fucking take that money and then they'll go buy a Porsche or some stupid shit or they'll go to Europe.
Get a boob job. Yeah,
I swear to God, there's so many people that I know that I've been like watching for years going, I don't understand. Like, I know how much I make, okay?
yeah,
And it's not like the most in the world, but I know it's more than these people, okay? And they're always going to Europe and going here and going there, and they live the most lavish lifestyles. And the only thing, and I know what they make for God's sakes, the only thing I can think of is like the house that should be paid off has got like 75% or 60% leverage against it, right? When
yeah,
it should be zero debt. Instead, they've gone like to everywhere in the world and they've done everything, which
yeah.
I don't know. Is that
Doesn't
good?
sound like a bad
I
plan. You know
guess
what I
it's
mean? Like,
not
who's to
bad.
say? Maybe tomorrow it's your last day on Earth.
I
Who
guess
knows, right?
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially around here.
Yeah.
It's getting
So these
rowdy.
are the struggles, right? So in this type of economy, you have new issues. And so we've already talked about a few frauds, okay? But now just a day ago, some of the guys pleaded guilty to the Montreal grandparent scam, and they were defrauding people in the US. Okay, so they were calling them up and saying, "Hey, Grandma, it's me, Billy. I'm in trouble. Grandma, can you send me some money? You have Venmo, Grandma?" And they found ways to be able to scam from these old people. And the reason that we're talking about it today is because the guy who was one of the big guys, what was his name? Garrett West. Um, Garrett West. It was a guy here in. Let's just double check that name here so I don't screw it up here. Gareth West. He was a guy, okay, who is first of all, he's from like Burlington. He's like an Ontario guy, but he moved out to Montreal to be able to run the scam. But he was also like hey, I've got real estate and like I'm doing multifamily and like, come and invest with me and buy with me and like this is how you do it. Like he was very active on social media. So like a lot of people knew him, a lot of people might be friends. Check your Facebook. You might be friends with this guy on Facebook. And then all of a sudden, what happened? And then like most of the cases, like you were just talking about your friends flying to Europe and doing all these type of things. He probably had a pretty good lifestyle, I imagine, lived above his means. Eventually, the real estate game changed in 2022. So, what do you do?
What do? You find another way to rip people off.
You
Isn't
open up a
that the next
scam.
move? Yeah.
Yeah, you open up a scam call center in Montreal.
Oh my
You
God.
know,
Why Montreal?
I
Why
mean,
Montreal?
my thoughts on it would be that the people in Montreal would be more willing to do it, but that, I mean, that could be.
Ooh, what are you saying there, TK? That
I don't know. I
digs
think
deep.
the way I
That
look at Montreal, crime, like they got a lot of mob people over there. Like I think the Montreal like underworld is a little bit seedier than the Toronto one.
um there have been rumors that that is true. There
There's
does
rumors.
seem to be a seedy underbelly in Montreal. And
Yeah.
I wonder why. I mean, at least there was a show. I don't know if it's factual, but there was a
What
show
was it?
about the I don't what was it called? There was like a Blue Bloods or something like that. A big show that was
Yeah.
about the Montreal mob, I'm pretty
Oh,
damn sure.
yeah. The Montreal mob. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
It's
why
like a
I
thing.
mentioned it.
Well, I think
It's a thing.
there's like a Hamilton mob too. Like you don't want to, fuck around
Just
with
don't mess with the mob. That's it.
don't mess with the mob. Well, you don't realize you're messing with the mob until you're messing with the mob,
But the
right? Like
mob,
it's like
I think they changed their way of like their MO now is no longer the old school extortion racket. Now, like I was at like my friend's birthday party last night. I stopped in and like this guy who I know is not serious about what he's saying, but anyways, he likes to talk real estate with me, and he's just like, we got some guys, and it's like we're buying land, and then we've got some politicians who are gonna get some money in their pockets, and things are gonna develop. Like he's like one of those guys. And I
mhm.
was like, oh yeah, cool, cool, cool. Oh, you're gonna out of the green belt, eh? I was like, wow. Like I mean, yeah, that sounds like that's gonna happen, right? And but I think that that is literally what the mob is like these days, right? It's no longer the shop owners and stuff like that. It's big land deals, big construction, big
Yeah, it's
huge
concrete
massive
deals and yeah.
real estate construction projects that are happening throughout
Oh yeah.
Canada.
Waste
That's where they're at.
removal, right? Waste
Yeah,
removal.
they're not involved in anything petty.
No, it's concrete, waste removal, and I mean that's a good amount of it. I'm
Yeah,
pretty damn
and they
sure.
don't even call themselves the mob anymore. It's not even like that because they understand that even the structure itself would be something that would cause them issues in the States, at least with like RICO stuff. So they're just like,
They're just
we're just
businessmen now, I
we're just
guess,
here.
right? They
We just have money.
they
I
don't
just know
kill
him.
people. Do they
Yeah.
kill people now? The mobs? Does the
We
Montreal
every
mob
once in a
have to
while
take care of
we get a
people?
mob murder. Every once in a while, there's like on College Street, some guy gets shot in some sort of cafe.
Yeah, and you don't
Always
know.
seems to be in the Italian neighborhoods,
TK,
right?
we're treading here.
I sold a house that had a mob hit at it. It was last year. It was like 3 million bucks in like Princess Market area, and I didn't know. Like I didn't know. Like I mean, like I sold the house. The guy never told me, but he bought the house from the family who the guy was hit, and he was killed on his driveway. Someone drove by, popped a couple bullets in him, and left. Right, and so um, my guy knew that. And then the way disclosure works is like if I knew about it, I'd have to disclose it, but I didn't know about it. And my guy said, well, I talked to my lawyer. He says, don't tell your realtor and you don't have to tell the clients unless they ask. So after we get the deal done, the agent's sending me articles going, what the heck is going on? There's a mob hit on this house. And I said, I have no idea. I never heard about this. I said, but this guy, my client, lived there 10 years with his daughters and his families. And this is not like a person who would be living in a dangerous situation if there was any danger.
Hmm.
So I said, relax. This didn't happen last year. It happened a long time ago.
Oh,
Relax.
I was trying to figure
And
out
they were
what
just
the
like,
worry would be.
and they were just like, all right, well, but I swear I didn't know. He didn't tell me. He got advice from his lawyer to not tell me, I guess. I don't
But
know.
what's the worry? Like that they're gonna come back and hit you next because you
Yeah.
live in the guy's house?
Remember the Burlington house that the basketball player bought and the crypto guys were after him? And that one of the Gupta guys was the owner of the house and they had to they reversed the transaction. So when the crypto guys were knocking on his door saying, I'm going to kill you, the guy's like, I can't live here. And he just bought the house for 6.5 million. And the courts actually reversed the sale and were like, take it back, seller. You shouldn't have sold this to him.
What?
You remember that story? We
No,
covered it. We
we
covered it. Yeah.
did?
And it was like the first time a court ever reversed a sale. They were like,
Really?
you get the money back. These Gupta guys, I sold a property to them in Whippy. Like they got lots of money. They own hotels and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like
On
they had
the
the money to be able to give back. Not Steve Gupta, not that, but like his brother, I think it is.
yeah.
And so it's like they had the money to do it. I don't know. Most cases that money could have been gone or there was debt on the property or whatever, right? But in this case, they could actually reverse it and they reversed it. But yeah, for sure, people would be worried. People are killing people here. I don't want to be here. I
That
don't want to
seems
die, Darryl. I don't
Oh,
want to
but that
die.
seems crazy. That
Yeah.
would be a concern. Like, but I mean, that's not like somebody was. I guess it is the same thing as somebody was murdered there. So yeah, that's not good. I guess a mob hit though hits a little different than like I guess it doesn't. I guess
His
it's the
son,
same
like,
fucking thing.
taking out his whole family and stuff like that
Or
because
just like a
nobody, his
suicide, but
girlfriend broke up with him.
maybe a suicide's better. Do you have to disclose a suicide? Like, why do you got to disclose anything? Like, what difference does it fucking make? Somebody died
Some people
here.
might care, so there
Oh,
might be a material
my grandmother died here with,
impact to the value of the home, right? So somebody,
really?
yeah, so somebody wants to know about a certain thing and they ask for it and they say in the agreement, hey, what happened here? Then, the seller is obligated to let them know. Real estate agents were obligated to disclose. That's just sort of like our chanting. It's disclose, disclose, disclose. Something happened, fire, floods, deaths, or whatever, just tell people about it. That way, they know and they can make a decision on the information they have. And at the end of the day, people get to decide if they want to buy the house or not. There's a firehouse that we're dealing with right now. Beautiful house, you know. Look at it, you think it's a great house, but there was a fire. So
Yeah.
how would you feel about that?
Fire remediation is really tricky. Like that smells forever. And if you don't do it right, I guess it depends. Like if you walk into the place and it just smells like overly like nice, I would be concerned, right?
Mm,
If it was just left to smell like a normal house and the smell was not of smoke, then who gives a shit? They did it right. You know?
yeah.
You can do it right. It's just like if they have you ever been in a house after it was on fire?
Yeah, I've smelled the firehouse before. Not like
Oh,
before reno.
before
No.
remediation. Like,
No.
oh my God. It's like you walk into these places and it's like, when you go camping and you can wash your hair 5 times and it still smells like campfire?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's like a firehouse. It's like you
Yeah.
could do so many things. If that piece of wood is still in there and like charred, you're gonna
Yeah.
smell it through everything
Yeah.
forever. So you have to like replace stuff, and there's all kinds of chemical treatments, and the real it's crazy because it always goes up into the roof, and generally roofs are very engineered. Right. So like putting that back to like taking pieces off that are charred and putting that back together. It's such a fucking nightmare. I guess
Yeah.
most of the time you just end up knocking the house down because half the time to get the fire out, they've flooded the goddamn place with the fire truck, right?
Yep.
So you
Yep.
go in here and it's soaking wet. Everything's fucking like it's like ash that's wet,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it smells horrible. I've been in a house, maybe it was a mob thing. I have no idea, but it was definitely a gas explosion. And this house was fucked up, man, and
Yeah.
it smelled so strong. I went to this other guy. He was trying to
How'd you
renovate
get
this
into these
fire.
houses? Like, what was going on here? These are all construction projects?
When I was a contractor,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know, so I have no idea how some people found me, but they
Yeah.
did, and some like
He looks like he knows how to make this house
I
less fiery.
I advertised a lot. Like I was
Yeah.
pretty out there, but I don't know. Anyways, I ended up in these situations, or this other guy had a firehouse. He was trying to renovate it, and he kept bringing me there. And I don't even know why I was there. He liked me, wanted to do something with me, kept teasing me that he was going to hire me, but like never did. But like I would go there every 3, 4 weeks, and the smell was not gone. He's like, I got rid of the smell, and I was like, oh, okay. Um, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
It's actually worse, I think, now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're just used to it, right? It's a
So
horrible thing.
on the real estate side, that's actually great insight.
Gonna
And that
knock
actually
me
helps me
down.
with my job. Thank you. Um,
That's why I'm here.
the real it's true. The real estate side of it is exactly all those things that you have. It's a stigma that you'll always have to disclose that at one point this house had a fire.
Mhm.
And, you know, was it done right? Right? Was there any structural integrity that was compromised? Was there, mold and like full of water in the basement and the mold is now like in weird corners and it's gonna come back in like, a 5 years after the renovation's done? Like
Nobody
this.
discloses anything. Like, look
Yeah.
at the stuff that the next person ends up dealing with.
Yeah.
How many times? Okay. Like,
Yeah.
just my house alone, for God's sakes. Okay. I know my house, My drains fucking collapsed, and that wasn't a new thing. My
Yeah.
roof had like half the shingles missing. You just couldn't see it from street level.
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't a new thing. They put a tarp on it, like on purpose to cover it up.
Yeah.
When we redid the floors and pulled up the floors, we had heating runs that were just killed and in the floor, like wide open.
In
And
floor heating. What do you mean?
I would always go, man, the floor is so hot over here. I wonder what's
Yeah.
going on. And then in the summer, it'd be like, the floor's so fucking cold over here. What's going
Yeah.
on?
That's
Right.
funny.
But people just do things, and most homeowners don't even have a fucking clue what to look for.
Yeah.
Right. So the guys just go, you know what? They want like a flat wall here, and like, we got to kill this vent. They're not even going to
Who's this
notice.
air
Right.
return that,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like they've already got another one upstairs and in the basement. They probably don't need this one.
It's so crazy what they did in
Yeah.
this house. And it's like somebody allowed them to do it, right? I guess we don't need the vent in the spare room, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't? Why? Because you're selling the place, you motherfucker, right? No, but I like, honestly, imagine all the things, like how many houses like just had a flood like the week before you closed, right? Like, oops, shit. Like the tub overflowed, right? Don't
Yeah.
fucking tell anybody. And then
Yeah.
the new homeowners come in there and they're like, the fuck is that smell? What
Well, these new prefabbed houses will solve all the problems, Daryl, because
for
people will be
sure.
getting engineered homes in factories, creating jobs, and that you will know exactly what
Yeah.
that house is. Now, the
Yeah.
first
CSA
generation of
approved.
them, the first generation of these houses may have some issues. So let's make sure that they're affordable and that the city's most vulnerable people are the only ones that suffer. But
That's
once it
right.
gets to the people who have got a little bit of money and they're willing to pay more money and
This,
better prices, we'll start bringing out the good line.
the
We'll make
good
sure that they get
stuff.
the good ones.
Right. The perfected stuff.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
the problem with
happening.
affordable housing, right? Is when you start trying to innovate new construction methods, you end up giving the people who are like looking for options. They did this with condos, all the affordable stuff downtown. There's a couple on Queen West. It just ended up being like a total mess of a situation. And people complained about how it was built. All the Regent Park stuff too. Even a lot of those things, came out, less than favorable for a lot of people. Because they're just trying to build things cheap, and they think, well, people here
Right.
need affordable housing, and so you end up
Even
kind
the
of like
not affordable
spitting in their
housing,
face.
even the
Yeah,
not affordable housing was built super cheap, right? Because
yeah,
what's the motivation? See, I had a conversation. I was speaking to somebody from the city a couple days ago. Funny enough, they've included me in something that they're proposing to city staff, which is very interesting. I'm in the loop now, TK.
I know
I'm like
you're
a
in the
city
mix.
consultant all of a sudden,
You're
which is
you're the
crazy.
guy who's
I'm
got a lot of
active.
experience in things that other guys don't.
It's
Like the
pretty crazy.
you,
So
you,
but so they're asking my opinion, and I'm like, my opinion is that this is going to take forever to get across what you're asking them to do. It's a shame. Even it's just about like loading spaces and garbage space for new buildings, right?
yeah,
It's like
the 30+ unit ones.
whatever it is, it's like, yeah, over a certain amount you're required a certain size loading space and garbage area and blah 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 blah. Anyways, I said to him, I go, what the fuck is going on? Like, can't the developers honestly just be left to figure this out so that we have a building that works and that people want to live in? Because people don't want to live in a building that smells like garbage and that has garbage in front of it all day. Like, this is a detractor, right? People don't want to live in a place where they can't fucking get their shit into their units, right? People want a convenient life, and I think so anyways, the main point here is that the incentive to build these condos fucked up the quality of the build, because you're building something that you're not planning on keeping, TK. And when you're building something that you're planning to hand off to the sucker that just paid 1,600 a foot or 1,200 a foot for luxury 450 square foot studio that overlooks the building that's 20 feet away, you are not incentivizing people to build things well, because they won't have to deal with it. All they have to do is hand the keys over and make sure that there's a board in place and maintenance fees that are enough to fucking cover everything that explodes over time. But most of these buildings haven't even been up for 20 years. I mean, imagine what is going to start happening to these pieces of shit that were built
Yeah.
in 20 years, in
The
10 years, even
glass, the,
everything, the
common
seals,
areas.
common areas, the
Yeah.
floors, like who knows what's going to happen
Yeah.
because everybody's
No,
incentive
we
was just
know. We know what's
cheap.
going to happen. We know
We
what's going to
know.
happen. Yeah, we know what's
Right.
going to happen. There's going to be major special assessments. There's going to be so in BC they have loans because of the Condominium Act here in Ontario protects the condo boards and the reserve funds. Where in BC they don't have the same protections, and so that the condo boards start taking loans.
Oh
So
my God. Against the property?
yeah,
How?
I,
Against the
I
common area?
I sold one. I sold one building that had that. It was a condo townhouse in Aurora, and they had a loan. So you paid your maintenance fee, and then you're like, and this is servicing the loan because we were short $5 million. And that's what's going to happen is because people don't have the money, and this was like a low income type of
What are they
situation.
borrowing against?
So they're
The
the
land?
condo board, yeah,
The land?
yeah, the rights to all those condos. It's a debt. It's registered, and that the person
How do
who
you
who's
sell your unit if that's registered?
it's because it's not registered against the title. It's registered against the condominium corporation.
What a mess. What a
Yeah, and the common
stupidity.
areas, right? And then they have to make that monthly payment every month. And they're like, "Don't worry, guys. In 10 years, everyone will have it paid off. It's only an initial $100 a month."
Oh my
But
God.
they didn't have
Yeah.
the money. It's a shortfall.
You see, and this fucking city mandates all this
Yeah,
common area. Okay. Instead of
yeah,
selling to people and having more units that people, you have like 4,000 square foot gyms that like just Anne and Fred use 3 times a week. Okay. You
yeah,
have these like sprawling spaces that nobody fucking use. You have pools that have to be maintained and upgraded every few years. You have all these costs that eventually like people's maintenance fees are the same as their mortgages. Some maintenance fees are more than their goddamn mortgage, depending on the price of the condo, right?
yeah.
And they're just going to keep climbing and climbing. You sent me something. What was it? It was like the maintenance fees were 30 grand a month, or what was it? 9 grand a
Nine
month?
grand a month. Yeah,
Nine
that's
grand a
luxury.
month.
Okay, this is not like a regular place. This
I
is like
know. And listen,
$19 million penthouse.
but it's still huge. You know why? Because there's a ton of amenities in that building. You know why?
Yeah,
Because it's a big building and the amenity space is dictated by the amount of units in the building, TK. It's
yeah,
fucking asinine. Okay. So in a building that has 500 units, you need 500 times 50 square feet of indoor space. Okay.
yeah.
48 square feet. I don't know. It's some square meter thing, but
Okay.
it equates to about 50 square feet. Okay.
Yeah,
But think about that. How many square feet is that? Who uses this shit?
yeah.
People don't use the shit, or the percentage of people that use the shit is not worth everybody paying maintenance fees for the ever
But
on
let's
this
but
shit.
let's do now a 5 floor building where each floor is just one unit.
Okay.
And so
So,
that
like,
same 50 square feet, they're like, we have 250 square feet of amenity
well, so, but
space,
this is
which
the
again
thing.
makes no sense.
So, but one Thelma, right?
Yeah,
We have 16 units.
yeah,
We're not doing like 300 square feet of amenity space, but we're
yeah,
not doing like everything, right?
yeah,
We're gonna have a beautiful party room and a beautiful gym. Like, what else do fucking people need? What do they use,
yeah.
right? Do we need a driving
Golf
simulator, a golf
simulator
simulator? No,
and
they're gonna go to
theater
fucking
and
Colorado and play golf on a helicopter. These people, right? They're
yeah.
gonna go to Florida and play fucking
You don't
golf.
Daryl doesn't play golf when he says play golf on a helicopter.
Whatever. But no, they're
Yeah.
going to go places because they're wealthy. If
By
they
way
want,
of
right?
helicopter.
They're going to
Okay.
play golf when they want to play golf, wherever the fuck they want to play golf. They don't need a
Yeah.
simulator that
Yeah.
costs everybody in the building $100 a month for
Yeah.
eternity until they have to repurpose the room, which will cost 50 grand, right?
Yeah.
Every 5 years or whatever the fuck. No,
Yeah.
you get bigger units where you're going to live and you're going to use. This is what
Yeah.
people want. But the city mandates parking spots. Are you build a people are going to learn very soon that you're going to build a building with no parking spots, and that sucks. Okay. And it's going to become a detriment to renting or sales for this place. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many places are like right by the hospital where you can have no parking and nobody gives a shit. But you can have all these buildings now that people want to fucking drive and park at. They won't be able to park at. You
Yeah.
have loading spaces that nobody needs. You have mandated amenity spaces that nobody uses. Okay. On top of, and then you got to pay interest on all this space and your fees on all the space because it's part of the GFA. It's like, it's on and on and on and on and on stupidity because what? Like a builder can't go, fuck, I think this is what the market wants. I'm going to build it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who
If it
cares
doesn't, if it's not what the market wants,
the
which is what the
guy
city,
didn't build it on Jones? Do you believe it?
it won't sell.
It's the end of the world. It won't fucking
It won't
sell.
sell. Yeah,
Let
and
me
then
go bankrupt. Let somebody else take it over and do it properly, for God's
Exactly,
sakes. Why you got to
exactly.
tell
So-
me what to fucking do? You don't even know how to
Nobody
do it.
tells Darryl what to do.
You don't know how to do it. You tell me when you've done it. Okay, you know what? Alan Menke's, you want to call me and tell me how to do shit? Fine. I'm going to listen to everything that guy says about building because he knows what he's talking about. But the head of city planning, if you tell me how to build something, I'm not going to listen to you because you don't know.
You
Right?
don't know.
You
haven't
don't
built
know.
anything. You,
You
haven't
just
built
know
anything.
how planning is supposed to work, and it doesn't. It doesn't work, TK. None of it works, and I'm
None
sick
of it
of it.
works.
I
None
just
of it
want to
works.
build, TK. I just want to build stuff and have people live in it and go, wow, this is a great place to live. I don't want to deal with the financing. I don't want to deal with the contracts. I don't want to deal with the shit. I just want to go I just want to imagine it and say, here, guys, make that thing happen and make it easy. Why doesn't it work that way?
One day that world will exist. And you, my friend, will be the
I'll be
leader
moved
of the new
on.
free world.
I'll move
But
on.
we'll have to come up with all those solutions on the next show.
When the aliens come, you think they're going to vote for me to lead the whole free world, TK?
I think you may be an alien.
It's next month.
That's potential. It's next month.
That would make so much sense.
That could be the end of our very show. Is when Darryl takes over to the new world. Darryl said, I think I have no more time.
It's a conflict of interest. Yeah.
The Canadian Real Estate Show is because I'm now leading the new world because
free
I am
world.
an alien.
That's right.
Guys, you heard it here first. It sounds crazy, but is it crazy?
Is it really that crazy?
Is it really that crazy?
I mean, you didn't hear what I said and you took it in a different direction and made it a little bit less realistic, but we didn't even do any background. But be ready, TK.
Okay.
The aliens are coming. And I'm not one of them.
Okay.
I just think I could lead us out of it.
Stop yelling at me. Fine, we're going to fight against the aliens.
I'm not
Darryl
yelling
will
at
be
you.
Our leader.
It's like towards you.
Thank you.
You're just receiving it.
I respond
you have the
physiologically
earphones.
when people yell at me and I just shut down. I'm sorry, Darryl.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Is that a little bit of insight?
When the teachers used to yell at me in school and stuff like that,
I feel like this is untrue.
I
don't feel like
restart my computer and I just have to hide in the corner.
You have to restart and then you start planning your revenge.
And then I figure out how am I going to get out of this?
How am I going to get around this? And how am I going to fuck that person up for doing this to me? Because it's all about that. TK?
Last comment, guys. Thanks for watching. You're the best. We love you guys. Keep liking, keep commenting. You want to book a 15-minute call with me? You got a link below. Darryl's got his shrubs. It's amazing. I use it all the time, sending documents back and forth. Check that out. Check the link. It's free. And we'll see you guys next week.
Substack, Frankfort Report. Check it out.